My sister Traci is the one who said to me, Toni, you know, when you make it, you can help us come on. So I always try to abide that. But the responsibility of it is so heavy for me. I feel like I can never live my life, and I never used to say it. I never used to say anything to anybody, but since we've been doing this show, I've been saying it.
Welcome to Gossip Trap. If you're into wild celebrity drama and the kind of tea that leaves jaws on the floor, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below to let us know what you think. Since the Braxtons stepped back into the spotlight, it's been straight chaos. These sisters, they just can't seem to get it together. Every day there's a new twist, a new feud, a fresh mess. And now word on the street is that Toni Braxton herself is done with it all. She's been out here saying she's exhausted from carrying the whole family for 14 years straight. And let's be real, Toni's not just talking big, she's that girl. 7 Grammy Awards, 70 million albums sold worldwide. Toni Braxton isn't just a star, she's a legend.
13 or 14, my mom, she had a really bad accident. She fell. And her back was really messed up, so she was in the hospital a long time. And so I was a surrogate parent for a moment.
Where was Dad?
Working, had to make a living, had 6 kids.
So what would it look like for you if it were different? If you didn't have that responsibility and if they weren't leaning on you, what would your life look like? What would you be doing?
Well, I would have soared higher.
You think so?
Absolutely.
One of the most iconic women in R&B history, period. She started out singing with her sisters in their girl group, the Braxtons, back in the late 80s, but when she dropped her solo debut, Toni Braxton, in 1993, it blew up. That album shot straight to #1 on the Billboard 200 and sold 10 million copies. The hits Breathe Again and Another Sad Love Song were everywhere, and don't forget, those tracks were backed by powerhouse producers Babyface and Antonio L.A. Reid. Then came her next album, Secrets, and that was another certified smash. It gave us the timeless heartbreak anthem, Unbreak My Heart, which sold another 10 million copies worldwide and still goes hard to this day. The Toni's dropped 9 studio albums total, her latest in 2020, and they all did numbers. But while she was out there building an empire, she was also picking up the pieces behind the scenes. Toni said she had to step in and handle the money, the bills, the pressure, everything. Her sisters, most of them were chilling in the background, and she claims only Tamar helped cover anything financially. Now she's tired, and she's letting it be known the spotlight might be bright, but behind it, there's drama that runs deep. So here's the breakdown.
Mommy and Daddy's divorced, and a divorced mom pretty much got nothing. I'm not going to leave my mom by herself. So I'm going to make sure my mother's taken care of. None of my siblings have helped me take care of my mother to make sure she was okay, except for Tamar. No one said,
this is before Vincent.
Before Vincent. Mommy's car insurance is due. Let's help Toni with mommy car insurance. Only Tamar.
Toni wasn't just venting, she was calling it like it is. She said, yeah, Tamar might be a handful sometimes, but give credit where it's due. Tamar was helping out their mom way before she ever got a taste of that fame money. Meanwhile, the other sisters, they were out here acting like Toni got it, let her handle it, like she was some walking ATM. And what really ticked Toni off? While she was juggling bills and handling business, Traci and Towanda were demanding to be paid just to work with her. Yet Tamar, who was helping with bills behind the scenes, didn't ask for a single cent. Now, don't get it twisted. Traci definitely put in work. She spent years doing backup vocals for Toni, all while raising 2 kids of her own. So yeah, wanting to get paid for her time, fair enough. Every time she sang for Toni, that was time she could have used chasing her own bag. That's understandable. But here's where it got messy. According to both Toni and Tamar, even with Traci getting paid, she wasn't actually helping out with anything. No bills, no support, nothing. Toni still had to carry the weight all by herself. And get this, it's not like Toni was sitting on endless cash either. Even though she was the backbone of the family, making sure everyone else was straight, she had her own financial nightmares going on. Don't let those Grammys and platinum records fool you.
It's okay. It's okay. I got you.
I don't want to talk about that.
But it's the truth.
Toni helped rake in over $170 million in record sales for her label, but somehow, she still ended up filing for bankruptcy twice. That's wild. She was out here feeding the whole crew while silently drowning in debt herself. Here's where it gets real shady. Toni was pulling in millions for her record label, Arista and LaFace, but you want to know how much she was actually making? Less than 35 cents per album. Yeah, you heard that right. She was going platinum while barely scraping coins for herself. It got so bad that Toni took the label to court. She filed a lawsuit in January 1998, but just 8 weeks after that, she had to file for bankruptcy. And when the details came out, the whole situation was straight up outrageous. Toni revealed that her contract contract was so messed up, she only walked away with less than $2,000 in royalties, even after selling millions of records. And on top of that, she had to pay back the label for clothes, studio time, flights, and even her own music videos. It was a trap. Pure industry mess. And the stress? It pushed things even further. At one point, she got accused of trying to hide over $53,000 by transferring it to her then-husband, Kerry Lewis, to avoid paying it back during her bankruptcy case. That accusation had folks talking like she was trying to duck creditors while still being the face of R&B. And remember that Oprah interview? Toni thought that moment was gonna help clear the air and maybe get people to understand what she was going through, but instead, it was a total disaster. Toni felt humiliated on national TV. She later said Oprah came across as cold, judgmental, and completely unsympathetic. The gossip behind the scenes, even messier. Word is, Oprah didn't just press her during the interview, she allegedly warned Toni's label ahead of time. According to insiders, Toni had planned to expose the shady treatment she got during contract talks. She wanted the world to know what LaFace was doing, but just before the episode aired, Oprah allegedly picked up the phone and told them, "Toni's on my show today. She's about to make y'all look real bad. Just a heads up, watch the show." That's cold. Instead of backing her up, it sounds like she got played twice, once by the industry and once on live TV. Now, putting Oprah's alleged shady moves to the side for a second, let's talk about how Toni's troubles didn't stop there. In 2010, she had to file for bankruptcy again, but this time, it was because her health completely fell apart. She was diagnosed with microvascular angina and later lupus, both serious conditions that forced her to cancel her big money Las Vegas residency.
Like a lot of people don't understand, my second bankruptcy was because I was sick. I have lupus, and my show in Vegas got canceled.
And the insurance wouldn't cover
The insurance didn't cover it, so I had to pay myself. And so
That's a lot. That was a lot of money.
It's a lot of money to put up a show. People don't understand this. If you see a concert, you see the lights, you see the band on stage. The artist pays for all that. The hotel rooms, the salary. So then you have nothing left over.
That residency was supposed to be a huge check, gone just like that. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, bam! In 2019, the IRS hit her with a fat lien on December 4th, claiming she owed $340,252.99 in back taxes from 2017. Then just a few days later, California came knocking too with their own lien, $116,154.64. Add that up, and Toni was looking at almost $500,000 in tax debt. Now people have been speculating hard, like maybe her family had something to do with all this mess, between covering bills for everybody, fighting a lifelong illness, and getting robbed by the music industry. It's no surprise she kept ending up in financial trouble. And get this, when Braxton family values returned, the drama didn't slow down. Allegedly, the sisters were heated over the payment breakdown. Word is, they couldn't understand why Toni and Tamar were getting paid way more than the rest of them. But according to insiders, that turned into a full-on blow-up. Toni apparently wasn't having it and made it crystal clear she deserved more. With everything she's done, she wasn't about to get paid the same as everyone else just to keep the peace. It got so intense that producers allegedly shut down filming after a nasty argument broke out between the sisters. Reports say Toni straight up walked off set and told them she was done. And here's the emotional part. Before Traci passed away, they had all promised her they'd stick together and keep the peace. But now, Toni's saying things are worse than ever. And from what sources are saying, it's not even just about the money anymore. Toni's just over all of it. She's tired of the petty drama, tired of carrying everything, and even more tired of the fake love. And believe it or not, there were even whispers that none of the sisters showed up for Tamar's premiere party with Ms. So let's get into what went down right before Tamar's big moment with her new show, Dishin' with the East, because whew, the timing was messy. Just 2 days before the premiere, there was a major argument between the sisters, and suddenly not a single one of them showed up for Tamar's premiere party. The whole fam was MIA, and then boom, Towanda hops on social media with this icy message. To everyone who has distanced themselves from me, kindly stay there. That post had folks raising their eyebrows real quick. Now, here's another twist. Towanda got married. She tied the knot with her longtime man, Sean Hall, in a small private ceremony down in Decatur, Georgia, after being together for 9 years. And yes, Toni and Trina showed up and stood by her side as bridesmaids, but guess who wasn't there? Tamar, not even a glimpse. And honestly, no one was shocked because the tension between Tamar and Towanda has been loud for years. Even during the very first season of their show, the distance between them was obvious from jump. There was this moment where someone asked Towanda how it felt not having access to Tamar, and before she could even open her mouth, Tamar cut in and said, "Towanda doesn't care." Straight like that. Tamar also called out the fact that Towanda seemed way more eager to keep in touch with Toni and Trina, but when it came to her, it was like she barely existed. Tamar said she's usually the one who has to reach out first, and if they're not filming, Towanda's silent. But Towanda had her own version too. She admitted she couldn't even remember the last time they talked and pointed out that Tamar didn't even bother to wish her a happy birthday back in September, even though they were filming together that same year in March. And it gets colder. Towanda straight up said she's focusing on the people under her roof now. Her man, her kids, that's it. No extra energy for the outside mess. So now, with all this drama bubbling, fans have been split. Some say Towanda's always had deep-rooted issues with Tamar. Others, they're convinced she's just salty and jealous of Tamar's spotlight. Either way, the Braxton sisterhood is hanging on by a thread. This Braxton family drama, it just doesn't stop. And now it's not just the sisters clashing, it's spilling over to other family members too. Word is Toni is completely done. She's fed up with the arguments, the tension, the constant mess, and honestly, who could blame her? Let's not forget that whole meltdown Tamar had before she vanished from social media. She went off on her X page, formerly Twitter, dropping post after post that had people shocked. In a now deleted post, she wrote, "Y'all have no idea, none. The gaslighting is crazy and I'm going back into treatment. OMG, I just pray that my marriage can be saved and my life can be spared. My family is awful." Yeah, that deep. And in another post, she didn't hold back either. Tamar wrote, "I'm so mad at my life. My family is toxic. I should have never went back to BFV Woo. That one stung, especially for longtime fans who thought the show would bring the sisters closer, not tear them apart." But wait, it gets even messier. Tamar reportedly blocked Toni on social media. Toni found out when she tried to tag her baby sister in a birthday shout out. Toni was out here being classy, writing, "I wanted to repost that gorgeous picture of you, but I'm blocked again. Anyway, happy birthday, Tay." Like, imagine being blocked by your own sister on her birthday. Tamar wasn't having that though. She clapped back saying it was pure gaslighting, claiming Toni could have just called her instead of putting it online. Then Tamar posted screenshots from their texts in her Instagram story showing the two trying to figure out which city each other was in just the day before. The whole situation was wild. Back and forth receipts, emotional rants, and more broken bonds. At this point, it's been one emotional explosion after the next, but now I want to hear your take. Do you think Toni's family drained her dry after all those years of being the breadwinner? Could they have played a role in her financial collapse? And do you believe the stress from all this drama actually impacted her health? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single scandal from GossipTrap.